In order for a man to live a life that is worth living, he will need to be in touch with his needs and feelings. Along with this, what is going on inside him will largely need to define how he behaves. Being this way will allow him to live a life that is in alignment with who he is. This doesn't mean that he will constantly be walking around with a smile on his face and always feel alive and empowered. No, it will mean that he will know that he is living in the right way. However, although this is the ideal, a man could live in a way that is radically different to this. He could be out of touch with what is taking place inside him, and thus, what is taking place inside him won't largely define how he behaves. Being this way will stop him from being able to behave in a way that is in alignment with who he is. This can then mean that he will more or less always have a smile on his face, but he certainly won't feel alive and empowered. Yet, he can believe that he is living in the right way. When it comes to whose needs he is in tune with and who defines how he behaves, it could be his mother. But, although she will be his mother, based on how he behaves, he will be more like her parent than her son. Naturally, being there for her and neglecting himself is going to take its toll on him. He will have his own life to lead, and he won't live forever, but he will act as though he is merely an extension of his mother. Now, while some people will be able to see that he has abandoned himself, there will be others who are unable to do so. When it comes to the former, someone could wonder why he doesn't just draw the line and live his own life. As for the latter, someone could believe that he is doing the right thing by being there for his mother. What this may show is that they themselves believe that a child is responsible for their parents' well-being. With this aside, he might not be aware of the fact that he is acting more like his mother's parent than her son. If this is the case, he could dismiss what another person says if they point out that he is neglecting himself. If this has taken place, weeks, months, and even years could pass without him being able to see clearly. Then again, if this was pointed out to him, he may or may not dismiss what is said, but he could soon wonder why he is this way. What he might soon find, if he was able to connect to some of his needs, is that he is unable to just change his behaviour. If he imagines doing this, let alone changing his behaviour, he could experience a fair amount of fear and anxiety and guilt and shame. But if this is how he has behaved for most of his life, it is to be expected that there would be resistance. Thus, going from where he is to where he wants to be is going to take time. When it comes to why he is unable to simply listen to himself and to act like an individual, it is likely to be due to what took place during his formative years. Throughout this stage of his life, his mother is likely to have used him to meet some of her adult and unmet developmental needs. If so, it wouldn't have been possible for her to truly see him as a separate being and be there for him. Irrespective of whether she was aware of it, she is likely to have seen him as someone who could provide her with what her parent or parents were unable to give her. The years will have passed and he will look different, but at an emotional level, he will be in a stunted state. He will then have been emotionally dependent as a child, and he will still be this way as an adult. If he had been able to emotionally attach to his mother and received what he needed, he would have moved through this stage. As things stand, expecting him to break away from his mother and live his own life will be similar to expecting a child to break away from their parents and live their own life. Ultimately, he will be whole and complete on the inside, but he won't feel whole and complete on the inside. He will be in a deeply wounded state. This is why it will take time for him to get to the stage where he can freely express himself and to live his own life. What he went through will have caused him to experience a lot of pain, and this pain will have been repressed. Facing and working through this pain will be a key part of what will allow him to move forward. So considering this, if you're a man who is in this position and you are finding it hard to live your own life, this could be due to the fact that you missed out on what you needed during your formative years, and because of this, it is not just going to be a case of you changing your behaviour. You can have a lot of pain to work through and unmet developmental needs to experience, and in order for you to do this, you may need to reach out for external support. But the main thing is that you don't turn your back on yourself and you do what you need to do to gradually change your life. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.